I know they got to practice today. But right now, I'm going to give you guys some of my thoughts that's going on right now within the nation. Really appreciate each and every last one of you all for being part of this situation. Without hesitations nor deviations to the matter of facts. Let's continue to grind and shine the name. All Nation. This is the morning edition. Appreciate and salute to everybody that's following and subscribing to this channel. Shout out to everybody. Really appreciate you guys. Really do. Deep down in the hearts of hearts. Let's go. Turn me up. Hey. They say, ain't no party like a cowboy party. Let's grind. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Be sure to help the algorithm out. Hit that like button, share this content. I'm not a I told you so guy. I'm not the type of person that brags. No, that's not my game. But dog it, you guys are listening in to nothing but the best. For real, for real. Let's go. Hey. All right. Shout out to you, Constantine. Keeping it mean. Appreciate you. Come on. I don't have any B-roll for you guys this morning. Been cramming a lot of things as it relates to getting ready for Oxnard. I got to get ready to travel out that way, and everybody knows when you're traveling, you got to make sure you measure twice, cut once, make sure you got your equipment. And my barber, he's gone out of town, so I got to scramble and find a barber, somebody that cut me up real nice and real good. Y'all know how that goes, and you got to spend quality time with your loved ones before you go on the road. And yesterday, I spent some great time watching some movies, went to the movies, by the way, and watched the Escape Room. Realized I didn't watch the first one, so I had to go back when we got home to watch the first one so I can keep up with the Escape Room. Good movie, by the way. A lot of puzzles, a lot of things that you got to put on your mind. And during that process, Malik Hooker tried out for the Cowboys again for the second time around. And people fail to realize when I mention something or when I say things is not to be braggadocious or one of those guys that like to have their information out on the first front, because y'all know how this thing rocks. I'm not breaking news law. I don't like that. You know, I would rather for everybody in the world to say it first, to Ray J it. You know, Ray J say he hit it first. I'd rather for everybody to be the Ray J's of the world and me to scoop on in the back end, because when I'm in there, I'm in there. You know my presence. Shout out to you, Tim. Appreciate you. So on the 28th, I will be in Oxnard, bright and early. That will be the first day they will have padded practice or what have you. And the Malik Hooker situation and scenario, we like what he brings to the table. And it is the Dallas Cowboys bettering their best. It's the Dallas Cowboys looking at this situation and scenario and saying, okay, just in case, you know, remember that song, Just in Case I Don't Make It Home Tonight? You know that song, you know, just in case if something happened to KZ, or just in case something happened to a Hooker, at least you have some guys that can fill right in, and Donovan Wilson, and also in other guys that we got out there, Israel Mukamru, you know, all of those things. Jay Versus, Jay Versus, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. You sent me that Bart Scott clip, man, and it was crazy for them to say that about my dog, Rain Dakota Prescott earlier. Yesterday, you sent me that clip, and I really appreciate you for keeping me on my P's and Q's. Shout out to you, Brian. Appreciate you. I hope you guys are up. And for the coffee drinkers, I hope you got your coffee. For the tea drinkers, I hope you got your tea. And for the hot water drinkers, I hope you got your hot water, right? Just don't drink cold water in the morning time. It mess you up. Drink something warm. Get your body up and operating. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm about a day behind on most of the content. I didn't get a chance to hear the interview of Dak Prescott. I know it's a long one. And here's a piece of it right quick.
See how your body feels physically at certain points the way it did before, or what are you kind of monitoring just to reinforce that you've gotten past?
Are the Jones
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely buried it, but...
What you say again? The AI is speaking. What'd she say? Say it again. Open that mouth. I need to see those lips moving. Say it.
Are the Jones actually giving safety a look?
Oh yeah, appreciate you, Jay Versick.
Are the Jones actually giving safety a look?
Yeah. Now she want to keep saying, that's what Jerry Wayne said. I want to see those lips moving. That dog Jerry Jones, boy. Well, yeah, you gotta love Jerry though. You gotta love Jerry.
I want me some glory hole.
Oh my goodness! All right. Neither here nor there. Yeah. The Joneses are finally looking into the safety parameters, and it's good. That's good because the journey is still not over with. He got 4 more days before he's able to officially sign. And I said this because y'all got to understand that the Cowboys already knew Hard Knocks were going to be doing a piece. So why not throw an extra curveball into the situation and watch episode 1 or episode 2. That's going to be a major storyline for the Dallas Cowboys. Dun 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 dun. How did the music go? Then they bring in, they pick up the phone, and they act like they're showcasing some good stuff. Give me 1 second here. Let me play this clip, but I can't show the video because y'all know how that goes. Let me go right here. All right, this is the clip that I was talking about earlier, though. This is the clip I was talking about earlier. Here's what they had to say. Here he is right here.
Khaki pants Dimes is a better athlete than Dak Prescott. Yes, I said it.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
He said, now this Bart Scott, he's saying that Daniel Jones is a better athlete than Dak Prescott. Now, there's levels to athleticism, right? I run faster than Michael Irvin. I ran faster than Jerry Rice. That doesn't mean that I'm a better athlete. I ran a 4.40. So that doesn't mean just because I'm running faster than Jerry Rice that I'm better than Jerry Rice. No, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes with it. Now, when he was talking about Daniel Jones being a better athlete, maybe he could have said, yeah, Daniel Jones runs faster than Dak Prescott. But that doesn't mean that he's a better athlete, for crying out loud. There's clips if you put side by side highlights, and I ain't finna do the highlight runs of Dak Prescott since he's been in the league, and Daniel Dimes, if they want to call him that, Jones, highlights of him running. You will say, man, give me that number 4 who running the ball. Why? Well, he flipped into the end zone. That's an athletic move. Oh, man, he bulldozed over another guy and went into the end zone. So, for the life of me, man, did y'all hear that? You know what Bart Scott said? Hey, I kid you not, Cowboy Nation, I might as well call me a sellout, but I need some of that mama's cooking. I might as well put my application in for ESPN. Hey, don't you know how much they paying those boys over there to spit that craziness? Maybe I'll work for one day. And they'll say, man, boy, you talk too much of the raw. But I say, hey, man, just deposit that check. Yeah, he must be out of his.
I want me some glory hole.
Yeah, whatever we want, but he must be out of his god doggone mind. Danny Pesos, appreciate you. Oh my goodness, and it was so crazy because Molly, y'all know how that goes. She is an actual quote unquote Giants fan, and if when you go back and listen to it, go to my yeah, I can't show it because I don't know how they'll do it because it's ESPN, but I will play it. All right, so
Danny Dimes, Daniel
watch how she laugh.
Pants Dimes is a better athlete than Dak Prescott. Yes, I said it.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah, he oh man, go to my Twitter page, is there on my Twitter, or go to my Instagram page or Facebook page is there. It's crazy. Tom Brady isn't athletic. He had won 7 rings. Yeah, you're right. Tom Brady, if you go look at his combine tape, ooh. But back to this interview, man. I really appreciate you guys for being here and being part of this situation, because people fail to realize athleticism and height and weight doesn't mean or quantify that you're a better player or you're going to perform better. Hell, I'm 198 pounds. I'm close to 200 pounds. Floyd Mayweather's 135, 140 pounds. And you put us both in the ring. Now I might not can hit him, but shoot, he might be winning. But until when I grab him, it's over with. We bench press 140, baby. But if I grab him, if he can hit and all this stuff, but let me grab Floyd one time. Y'all say, man, y'all lost and power slam Floyd Mayweather before the money team came over. Let's just be real with it, But I got to get to him first. That boy got some quick hands. But y'all get how this thing goes, man. Just because you're bigger than a person doesn't mean that you're more a better athlete than a person, and vice versa. If Shaq roll up on me, I'm gonna give Shaq the business. Y'all be like, man, dog, Law was beating the hell out of Shaq. Yeah, but dog, did y'all see when Shaq grabbed him? Grab him and hold him and grab him. Shout out to Tony Baker. Grab him and hold him, Yeah, man, he was wearing Shaq out. But then when Shaq grabbed him, man, it was over with. Man, R.I.P. to my dog Law. But he won the first few licks though. Let me know if I'm lying. Y'all know I'm gonna get Shaq though. I'm gonna get Shaq for the first few hits. And then until he grabbed me. That's why I got to stick and move. Stick and move. You got to learn how to stick and move. But just because you're faster doesn't mean that you're better, right? And just because, you're taller doesn't mean you're better or way more, or vice versa. Y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, just being honest, obviously you want to get a few days and you want to get a week or so ahead of you in the books and then see if there's residual pain or anything like that or soreness. Obviously after the first day wasn't much. It was just good to get back out there, fully moving, being a full participant and everything. It's exciting just being back with the guys, and it's the last thing I'm thinking about. But obviously going to just see where I'm at as I continue to go on to make sure that I can set a right plan to take care of it.
Did you take any moment yesterday to remember where you were last October to jogging on that field for the first time?
Yeah, definitely. I think just the walk onto the field and then just before I actually crossed the line. And that's something I do well before the injury. So now just been a long time since I've been out there. Been a while since we've been obviously in Oxnard. It was a special moment just to think about where I was, think about all the hard work, all the support and everything that went into me getting back out there and just being able to go do what I love again.
What was the most challenging? Rolling out, did you after the play, did you notice, I didn't even think about rolling out?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
yeah.
There was no part of practice yesterday that I thought about my ankle or thought about any physical thing holding me back or anything, to be honest with you.
What was the most challenging part for you given the time you've been away?
Yeah, just not doing anything. I'm a guy that likes to go, like to stay on my feet and just always constantly trying to get better. So just the initial first couple of months, obviously, just having to lay up, having to allow the healing process to happen on its own, and there wasn't much that I could do to rehab or to do anything to get it better. That was challenging, but as I said, I had an amazing support system, family, teammates, friends, fans, everybody supported me that got me through that. And once I was able to start my rehab process and doing all the little things, it was fun just to day by day, beat new goals and set small goals and capture those victories. And that's what allowed me to get to this point and to be out there participating and competing and not thinking about it at all.
He told us he never had any doubt that you'd be ready to go. Certainly you have been confident you'd be ready to go. But still, how good does it feel to just have this all behind you and be out here practicing with your team knowing?
Yeah, what's up, Cowboy Nation? I haven't heard this interview yet, so I'm watching it for the first time with you all. I really appreciate you guys for jumping in. Let's see. Jay Versick, what's good with you? Yeah. Let the AI, the AI, she kind of a little slow. She needs some virtual coffee. But there she go. There we go.
Would love your thoughts on Dan Quinn's interview.
He did one? Dan Quinn just did an interview? Because I can leave this one because, I'm a defensive guy. Y'all let me know, did he just do an interview? Let me pause it right quick, Dan. If he just did an interview, I can look up Dan Quinn. I see the Kellen Moore interview is up. Let me know if he got a recent interview. Oh, sniggity, 4 minutes ago.
Before we got rolling today, just a little bit with a heavy heart.
Audible! Y'all know I love defense. Shout out to all the offensive players over there. I know I got Dak Prescott there on the forefront, but I got to get over to the defensive side. Offense is okay. Dak is okay for everybody to know. If you want to know, hey, Dak is okay. Let me pull up the Audible on y'all, man. Remix, Let me build a plane while it's in the air. Shout out to TJ Versick. You are the man over there. All right, let's listen to this one because I haven't heard this one. Look, I got so much stuff to listen to. That's why I love the Cowboys. I'll be sitting up here all night listening to Cowboys content. I watch all of the shows, by the way. So shout out to all of the guys, Big Nate, seeing him, and as well as the I want to say Isaiah Stanback, and they had a good episode. My dog, his name at the tip of fourth and long, Jesse Holly. They look like twins. They dressed alike. I said, what the world is going on there? They were dressed alike on the podcast. So I love seeing these episodes. But let's listen to what they got to say.
With a good friend who passed, and Greg Knapp, and I've known Greg for over 20 years, and the NFL lost a good coach and a hell of a guy. He was funny, loved to talk shit at practice, which you guys probably wouldn't know. He was so clean and buttoned up on stuff. But I learned a lot from him as an assistant coach watching him. This was a pro's pro. I can remember we were at the Niners together. It was my first NFL job. And seeing him, the way he took notes, there was Bill Walsh speaking. I was like, can I have a copy of that? And so from that point on, I made it a habit, kind of through the years of taking notes of coaches and so topics and things that I've gone through. And you'd be surprised through the years, the old notes that you found, whether it was through Mooch or Nick Saban or, Pete Carroll through the years. And that came from Napper, about a guy who was on his details and talk about standards of a professional and smart. So I'm going to miss him like crazy. I love the guy. And so it was tough. So I appreciate the number of texts that everybody sent out. So thanks a bunch. And with that, I'm ready to let it rip and answer some questions for you guys.
Oh, good stuff, man. He always speak with firmness, And I'm going to have to go cop one of these fatigues right here with the Cowboys because I want to have that mindset that I'm going into war. I want to have that mindset that I'm going into battle. And
This is Sparta!
Oh, and I know I'm off the topic right quick, but I forgot to tell Bart Scott this right here. Bart Scott, earlier. Why don't you lean forward just a little bit? Right there. Go to your room.
Up note taking, and Michael told us about you teach them how to take notes, and Kazi as well. Use some Run DMC. What song is that?
Man, nothing stays inside anymore, huh? I get it.
Yeah.
So what I did do an exercise on note taking with them, and the purpose was, learning is a superpower, but note taking is a big part of that, and you can't write every word that I say. And so I said, I'm going to say over 100 words a minute. And so you can write 10 to 12. So I played an old song, Sucker MCs by Run DMC, because I knew every word so I could sing along as it was going. And so what we did is I said, all right, we're going to have a little competition here. I want you to write down every word that you hear, you
Wow.
know, and so, okay, they started, they heard the beat, and then as it started, you know, you saw them frantically go, and then we had a little competition to see who could remember, you know, which lines, and so the winner had like 2 lines right. And my point was that I know the system inside out. I'm going to talk really fast. You know, I grew up in New Jersey. I talk fast, and that's how it's going to be. So if you think you're going to sit here and write every word that I'm going to say and you're going to get it, you're mistaken, because it's going to be how much you can, the main emphasis for it, and reviewing your notes and how does it go, and learning something with the intent of teaching it back to somebody else. And that's a big deal, because you learn it once when we're teaching it, and then you know, teach it to a teammate, to someone else, so you really get it. And so I think that's probably what Kays or Micah was probably referring to.
Wow.
Grab a bar?
No, I can, yes, but will I? No. So you had to ask. I understand. Like, you know, like you only know if, yeah, no, we're good. You asked. I gave you a lot of good information on what we did. So from there, that is not.
Appreciate the
Shout
donation.
out La Ishanika Puki Rare Spartan DC4L.
Appreciate you so much for that.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
This is Sparta!
Appreciate you so much for that donation to help the fun out in Oxnard. I really appreciate you guys for helping me out so much for that. And let me give you guys my recap on everything. It appears to me is that these guys are not just being coached. They're teaching out there valuable lessons about writing this information down, and everybody knows. My teacher used to say this: the palest ink is greater than any man's memory, meaning that the faintest of the faintest ink that you put on paper, it will always be there opposed to somebody's thoughts and mind, right? So this is what he's trying to install and put into the thoughts of these guys, is that when you are in these meetings, write it down, you know, write the vision, make it plain. All of this stuff goes further and longer than what the previous defensive coordinators, because I don't believe, look, show of hands if anybody that's in the chat box believe that Papa Rob Marinelli held these type of meetings. Like I say, yeah, Papa Rob Marinelli held these type of meetings. And yeah, Jay Lombardi, he do look like Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah. Yeah, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan, by the way. So, hey, and I believe one year he did come out to Oxnard. So that would be a joke to play on the Cowboys, you know, and have Stone Cold out there. And I believe the Undertaker, he's a diehard Cowboys fan. Hell, we got a whole wrestling team over here, right? Yeah.
Not living to eternity with that. So thank you.
Jay-Z helped you in teaching your defense to these guys here?
That's a good question. It was how much was DeMonte have an influence on teaching the defense? I think he can probably decipher, you know, my language quickly, you know, to share, hey, what he might mean is this, you know, could look into this. But so much of, it's not the exact same system, you know, that he was a part of in Atlanta.
Okay.
So there's quite a few things that are different, and I've been definitely impressed by the way he started. But he has been a good resource for me behind the scenes. Hey, here's what Q might mean in this. And so it may not be scheme related, but, you know, in a situation, in a moment, a style of play, an attitude that we want to play with. So he can back me in a lot of ways, scheme being one of them, but just a style and identity of how we want to play, that would be another.
He said that you find different ways to kind of teach things, and one of them was that he wasn't talking a lot early in his career, and you mic'd him up. And
I did.
Where do you come up with these things?
Yeah, so I did mic him up, and so there was a good clip from John Lynch playing in the Super Bowl against the Raiders.
Listen.
I thought that was a great example. He was telling Dexter Jackson, hey, this formation came up, this is about to happen, and he ended up getting an interception and scoring on the play.
Listen.
You could hear him clearly, hey, Dexter, and he gave him the, the signal of what it was going to be. I think it was like sluggo seam, and so he said it to him. He made the play, and you could hear John coming off the sideline. Was it sluggo seam? Was it? And yeah. So what a powerful statement to say. Not only did he have his self organized, in terms of what could happen, but if you really, really want to be a great teammate, you have to get to where you can communicate at a level that you can help the person next to you. And at safety, you have to be able to, it's non-negotiable. And so.
This teaching, Cowboy Nation. This teaching right here, man. This teaching. This is teaching. How important the safety role is. The last line of defense. If your safety don't know it, it's like a house without a roof. When it rains, it gets flooded. It's crazy how this team, even with a great foundation, even if you know, the craziest part about a home, a house that you build, you got to dig down and make sure that the foundation is there first. And then once you get a solid foundation, and let's just break this down right quick. The foundation will be your front four, the core. See, a lot of people will go over their head, and they'll just look at the house and say, hey, I want that one. And not looking at the cracks in the building, not looking at the poor foundation of where it was built. But they're looking at the outside saying, man, fresh paint, hey, 3-car garage, man, I like it, I want it. But refuse to look at the cracks on the side or the foundation, or how the house is leaning. And I ain't talking about gangster lean. And that's been the Cowboys for many of years. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful presentations on the outside. Horrible foundation. And leaking roof. And when your foundation is bad, your toilet, you can't even flush the toilet. The cabinet doors will not even close right. Creaks all through the house. But Dan Quinn, I come here to tell you guys today, boy, it sounds like I'm preaching over here. It's focusing in on the foundation and making sure also that the roof can withstand the rain and the weather that precedes it. So DeMonte KZ, he will be considered the safeties, and the free safety will be considered the last line of defense, the roof of the house. Making sure that everything is all right. That's what he's doing, Cowboy Nation. Yeah. Think about your house without no roof when it rains or when that sun is out there beaming.
So what we did with Kays in that moment was we mic'd him up, and then I put his voice into every play. So while we were watching it, you could hear him. So I wouldn't say it was as good as NFL Films quality would be, but they got the point that it wasn't to the standard that it could be, because the standard that I showed with John, that was championship standard. And so I wanted him to know there's another place to take your communication. Just making rip, Liz, right, left calls wasn't going to be enough. That wasn't going to cut it. And lucky for him, the energy that he plays with, he was ready for the challenge to improve upon that.
Is that something you regularly?
He's not a quiet guy. You would not, don't get, talking confused with, he loved to talk shit. He was, full of energy, but the information that
they got some potty mouths over here, but I love it. I love it.
Needed to happen at the moment by the play, that could increase. So you're right that it wasn't that he was, not saying anything, but I wanted to make sure the alerts, the calls, what it could look like.
Miking up a tactic you often use, and do you think you'll mic up any of your defenders this training camp?
Yeah, I haven't brought it up to anybody here, and the communication's off to a good start. But if I sense that would be, that would probably be a trick to pull out of the back pocket for sure.
To Micah's time as outside backer, as a defensive end, how do you gauge what he can handle right now?
Yeah, and I think what was nice about the spring of being able to, to go through practices, you had a chance to see where some of his strengths lie. And so that was a good piece for me as it went through the spring and into the summer, that I could, negotiate and look at some packages to say, how would we feature him in some ways? And so I started that process yesterday. And not all of the ones that we'll try will be part of our permanent package, but I think that goes with looking into things to say, how would this look and going, because some of these are going to be new. But to his credit, he's worked hard. There's very few busts on his end. And so I think anytime you have some adjustments, that's my job to make it easy to follow and easy to understand so he doesn't have to think. I don't want anywhere I thought. I want us to play really fast and really clear about how we're going to go after it, because any hesitations and thoughts on defense just slows you down, and he's got exceptional quickness to go, so I want to feature him in those ways.
Y'all hear that? He said they are already putting packages. Amazon and that thing, FedEx and UPS packaging. Nah, my grandfather would say, go over there and get that nah. And grandma would, go get that nah. You know, old folks, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? And people that's down there in the South, go get that nah. They creating packages now, right now. Go get it right now. Not next week. Nah, go get it right now. And for people that's from like bigger cities like New York and everywhere else, they don't understand what we talking about right now. But go get it right now. That's what he's doing. He creating packages right now. Not week 3, not week 4, not week 8. Somebody, oh, let's use them in this situation. Let's bring out Donovan Wilson now. No. Nah. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Yeah. And I'm going to say this before I hit play again. Go give me that switch right now. Go give me that switch. Go give me hey, you try to be smart and get that little skinny switch. No, that one hurt more. You better go get a big branch. You better get a branch. Go give me a switch. Oh, I'm having too much fun. Shout out to you, Tiffany, so much for your love and adulations, for the donations and all of the good things that you bring into the table. Right? Nah. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you.
And Micah and obviously Jalen and Leighton on the field together. How do you plan to use those guys? And what's the role? I know it's going to evolve. You look at all different type of things. But
yeah, we're fortunate that we do have a number of good players. And what thing I do is I want to make sure we have enough roles for guys that they can do their thing really well. So, if you look at the linebacker spot, there's a number of guys that are going to have roles. They all won't be in the same packages together, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be significant roles, for their team and how we're going to win. And I think winning at that position is going to come in a number of different ways. Who's got roles? How do we feature them? And third down, there's 2 minutes. There's first and second down things. So when you put all those together, now the game plan comes to life. But each day, we're practicing guys at some different spots.
Besides the Eagles, guys who long-time starters, got a first-round rookie, played in the first-round pick, and accepting different roles, I guess, and they've had.
I think it still comes down to winning, and so the better the team does, the better we all do. And so having a real clear vision of your job, and you can nail that every single time, that's a really powerful statement. And so making sure the roles that you own, you'd bet on you every single time to get that job done. And so that's what we're working through now. I told the team when we got started on the 21st that there's 40 days, and there's a lot we can accomplish in 40 days. That was going to be to the end of our preseason against Jacksonville. And over those 40 days, I gave them some things that we wanted to measure during that time, and system expertise and roles and our defensive identity. And it wasn't going to be done in 1 day or 2 days. It's going to take time to keep building that. And so we're just 1 day into this. We got a lot of work to do and a long way to go. But the effort of what we want to do, I'm pretty jacked about where that's headed.
That's good
Really
stuff.
big situational substitution guy, or do you see yourself doing more of that because of the versatile type of athlete you have here?
Probably a little bit of both. I think all coaches would like that. But now that you have people that you can, you really want to take advantage of that. And especially in the front seven, because now you can have, whether it's pass rush and big guys, we've got a lot of versatility now to do that, where some guys can really guard and cover, and other guys can rush. We've got some big guys that can hammer down in the run game. So if you have that, I definitely want to have the ability to play them in waves. And if you're at your best at the very end of the games, when we all know in this league there's going to be a ton of 2 minutes, that's when you have to be at your best. And by having waves of players, you allow guys who are fresher to play at the end. That's a hell of an advantage.
Is there a line to how much Micah as a rookie, coming off a year where he didn't play any football, as a rookie, how much he can handle on his plate? And if so, how do you gauge where that line is located?
Yeah, I think the real line would be, from the physical and the conditioning standpoint, because the mental part of it, he's done a nice job. So we got to make sure that we find that groove, like all ball players. What's the right amount, from practice times to reps in the game, and we'll, measure that and learn more as we go. But for one day in, it's, we're still learning that process. But we'll find it, because the guy works. He's got a good role for it, and if I felt it was getting too much, on the volume side from learning, that's my job to back it off. And so we'll measure, the amount of conditioning and the speed to go. And we don't have a number on that yet, but we will.
It's good stuff. That you guys had after practice yesterday, is that something that you plan on being something of a common thread during camp?
Yeah, it would be. Yep.
So what's kind of the philosophy to those sessions?
Well, I think when a player plays, sometimes more than one position, there's some good guidelines that you want to follow to make sure that nothing really gets lost, in the crack. In other words, if you were playing corner and you're always in with the corners, and you're pretty much going to get all the information for that spot. But for him, where he's has some pass rush background, and he's got certainly the big linebacker background, I can fill some of the space on the pass rush side, and so that's where a lot of our conversations will go. But it's also a good check-in to make sure where we're at, what we want to work on today, and be really deliberate on this day. These are the things we want to work on. On this day, these are the things that we're going to work on.
Did y'all catch that Easter egg right there? Nugget. And I know people have already reported that he will be doing that, by the way. But this guy, Parson, will be doing some defensive front stuff. And then he will be doing some linebacking stuff. And he's making sure that he's not pouring too much on him and putting too much food on his plate. I believe that one of the beat writers, Michael Kelkin, from, I think, the Dallas Cowboys Morning News, Dallas News, lamented some of the things that they're going to try to teeter some of this back because they were pouring too much on his plate. But I do like the fact that they already putting packages in for him. And then on top of that, they're working him out on the front as well as the linebacker situation. So there may be situations whereas when we play teams, you might see his hand in the dirt on their front, and you be sitting there like, man, what's going on? And then right before the snap, he backpedals into their linebacker role or blitzes off. So it's a lot of things that you can do, but you got to start now.
Sure, the guy that didn't take a conventional path to the NFL.
Can you repeat the first part?
And didn't take a conventional path to the where.
Understatement of the day.
Yeah. How did you how did you guys get together, and why was he the right guy for you to take?
Yeah, well, fortunately, through a connection with this organization. And so he'd actually done an internship in Dallas. And so a friend of mine, Jerome Henderson, had recommended him. And so he did a Bill Walsh fellowship with us, ended up going through for the whole year. And I just thought he had a rare ability as a teacher. And so then for the next, 3 seasons, right there, right by my side in a number of ways at linebacker, at defensive line. And he's made a remarkable, not transition into the NFL because that wouldn't be the right term, but a remarkable ascent into it. But with world-class teaching skills, that's, you can know how valuable it is as a coach. He's an excellent motivator. So, he's got a huge future in this league.
What's your vision? In Atlanta, you used your first-round pick on the court. You took the capability, you passed on Trevon Diggs. What are you seeing from Diggs here, and any possible reason why you guys didn't take him down there?
Wow.
No reason why, just as you're, going through the normal evaluation process, but, knowing a long history, of that position, man, have I been impressed by Diggs. His competitiveness, his length, I knew he had excellent ball skills, but sometimes you still need to be around somebody to really appreciate it. Somebody you can see something on tape and say, oh, that's good. But when you see him in person and you see he catches and you don't really hear it. There's a very easy, not one-handed back, behind his shoulder, whatever it is. And so those were the things that jumped out to me, right away from him. But I think both guys are going to have an excellent future in the league. But I've certainly been impressed by Trey so far.
What's your
Hey, now that was a hard question right there. Whoever answered that one, they wrong for that one, man. You know they wrong for that one. You're like, you saw him. That's the first time they caught you slipping, coach. They said, hey, how do you feel about A.J. Terrell versus Trayvon Diggs, basically? Come on. It's his name A.J. Terrell, right? Over there in Atlanta land. Diggs is better than him. And when we was looking at the tape last season when the draft was going on, we were sitting there like, we were just laughing because Diggs hands down was the better defensive back. The Cowboys was actually looking at him at pick number 17, opposed to if Lamb didn't drop all the way down there, they would have picked Diggs at that slot. So it's crazy. But shout out to him for trying to moonwalk it back a little bit, just a little bit. But that damn reporter put him in the hot seat on that one.
Vision for Keanu Neal and for Randy Gregory.
Can you repeat the second player?
Randy Gregory. And
Got it. Yeah, so let's talk what's the vision and, as we're heading into it with Keanu Neal and with Randy Gregory. So with Kiki, we made the transition, the biggest one, moving from safety to linebacker. In the system that he was in, he played down by the line of scrimmage a lot. So some of the techniques that he's played at safety were, in the same system, he could have been a linebacker doing that. So we knew he had the physicality to play down in the box. And so that was the biggest transition to play inside. And the biggest part of that would probably be in the sub packages, the nickel and dime packages. That's where he's so familiar and comfortable with anyway. So a lot of those same roles. And then for Randy, I am so excited to see what he can be. And it's as a featured pass rusher, in our system. And you just can't have enough, from guys on the outside who can cover and pass rushers like over and over and over. And I've been impressed by where he's at, mindset, attitude to do it. So it's been a good group on the outside. And I'm looking forward to, having DeMarcus, join into that group as well. Because Bash has been here. I've got the first chance to work with Bradley. But Randy definitely has been a guy who's, opened my eyes, kind of like we were talking about with Diggs. Like I knew he was good, but then when you're, around somebody in a full-time way, you said, there's some special traits there. And that's my role. I want to keep it real with the guys and talk to them in a language to say, hey, man, I want to take from where you're at and get it better. And I think that's what winning football is, when you take a guy from one space and move him to another. And that's going to be the goal with both of those players, to make sure, hey, wherever they're at, I want to hit at them hard and keep it honest and say, this is where we need to go, and I plan on doing that.
Oh, no, now. Who going to call Keanu Neal Kiki? Let me know in the comment box. Shout out to you, Jonah Hill. I don't know too many people going to call him Kiki, but that's his nickname. And I'm picking up the verbiage. You call him Bash and Bash. So Bash and Kiki, do you love me? D-Law and who else got a nickname over there? He just called Bradley. He didn't give him no nickname. You with Kiki? Yeah, Kiki. Oh my goodness.
Joseph, Coach, when you look at last year, when you evaluate players from last year, how do you balance saying, all right, this is what they were asked to do there, and looking at some special traits, but knowing that you're probably going to have a different role for them as well? I mean, is there some things that you're looking for that you can tell what you can use?
Yeah, and what's good about that too is when you have a longer history. Some of them I saw in college, and so okay, in the evaluation process, so they've been part of our system. How would we have used them? And then looking at the calls, you have a good understanding of, how they're playing, what they're playing, and how they would feature them. It's kind of like the why free agency grading is easier than college grading, because you're seeing them play against similar people, and you have a good understanding of the scheme and how they're doing in that. And fortunately for me and for a lot of people, when you have good players, generally they play good in a lot of schemes. And so whether they came in out of college in a 4-3 system and they had a little bit more 3-4, that's just a matter of training them to get them in that spot. But the traits, that's always what you're looking for. The speed, the physicality, the ball skills, those traits, you almost have to look at it as a scout first and say, okay, with those kind of traits, how would they fit into the system?
You watched Randy going back to Nebraska. Can you just speak to how natural he is as a pass rusher?
Oh, that was 8 years ago, man.
Yeah, I would say he's got a rare ability to bend. And
That
that's
bend.
unusual, but for a guy who's 6'4.5", and you can get on the corner, think of, he has to go against, big tackles here, but this guy can rip on the edge where you have to make the big guys get down and bend to get to him. And so that's a pretty rare trait. There's a lot of guys who can run fast straight ahead, and that's good.
He been listening. Y'all reach out to Big Game James, man, and he been listening to Big Game James because that bend, y'all heard him, that bend, if he can just get down low, that shoulder blade can cut the grass over there. And forcing the offensive tackle to get low and kick out wide. Ooh, that bend,
As a pass rusher, if you don't have a good get-off, it's hard to be a good rusher. He has that. He's got initial quickness. But I think it's his ability to stick his foot in the ground and bend that makes him so unique. When it's time to twist and he can bend and get outside or inside on a player. So he's got unique stuff. And like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing, okay, here's where we're at and here's where we're trying to get to.
Kelvin Joseph was playing left corner, Deshaun right corner. Is
that's Jeff Cal.
Stay, or are they competing in general at corner and we might see him?
Yeah, you'll see him move around, and I think there may be some times when you want to match up on some people, so it's important not just to always, stay at one spot, where Trey might be on this side, he'll go over to the other guy to match on a player, and so AB, you'll see him both at corner and at nickel. You'll see Sean both sides and Kel as well. So those guys they're intermixing now, and that's part of that 40 days, that I was referring to of roles and how we're going to play. And so until we get closer to those, I'm going to continue to put them into different spaces.
Oh, so we got traveling cornerbacks now. Yeah. I mean, come on, that's what we wanted. We wanted our DBs to not just be stuck on one side of the field and teams sitting there saying, okay, well, if you only going to have them on this side, then we're going to just move the DB. We're going to move the wide receiver on that one. Or, for example, we're going to line them up on the weak. Now, it's only good if it works out, but I'm quite sure that if they start in this process now, Cowboy Nation, then this thing can really work out because I believe that Diggs can travel and Diggs can play left or right, and as well as Boss Man Fat. When you look at the film from Kentucky, the brother can play down inside the nickel. He can play left or right, and at times if in a pinch they put him on top of the roof. They put him at free. So hey, this thing finna go crazy, banana split crazy.
Micah told us that your shoe game blows his out of the water. How long have you been wearing the Jordans? Have you talked to Dak at all about being a Jordan brand athlete?
I have not, but I'm definitely open to all conversations about that. I don't know, a long time, I guess. Well, I grew up, during the 80s where, when Jordans came out, it was a big deal. And so I love basketball, still love, watching it. And so that's probably where it started back at, 15 years old. And same thing with Run DMC. So same time, same moment.
About Joseph, he had missed some time. He was quarantined. Doesn't have a lot of college games. Where is he at right now? Is he a little bit behind?
Yeah, I don't think he's behind. And I think as a coach, what are you looking at? I mean, we only had one practice too. So there's not 10 days for us to have. Day one it was good. But what I would say is he came in excellent shape. And so as a coach, you're always kind of keeping your eye out. What does that first day look like? Are they able to finish in that space? And so he was one of the players that I thought really, demonstrated that speed that he has. Because it's one thing if you have it, but if you're guarded or you're worried about your conditioning, you're not ready to open it up and rip it. And he was. And so that told me this guy's, put some good work in on the conditioning side, and I'm looking forward to seeing where he can go to. But I love, getting to know him better and building these relationships. And the trust takes time, to build that. It doesn't happen overnight. And so he's, one of the guys that I've enjoyed getting to know better. And all these rookies, we got 11 of them on the defensive side, and getting to know all of them and finding what their roles can be. And they're trying to figure that out too. They all want their shot and going for it, but they're going to get their moments, against the first team. And that's going to happen some in practice where, next guy's going to go in, and how are you going to respond and how are you going to play? And so it's not always, backups against backups. I'd like to see put into the fire right away.
There you go.
Be down for it. Let's see what it looks like.
You guys got a lot of players, but you talk to, Steven and Jerry, they look at you as being the difference in remaking this defense that was one worse than for last year. Any pressure on you
You know, I think I probably told you this. I guess what I've learned most about my life, I love doing hard shit with a group of people. I love being at the game, end of the line, right on it. Like, those are my favorite moments. And so to be here is why, I was pumped when Mike, offered me the opportunity to come and join here. I wanted to be a part of this. And so having that chance and getting a chance to work with the guys here, it's absolutely, where I wanted to be and how I wanted to go after it. And so feel super fortunate to be able to do that, especially in light of, talking about Napper and moments and opportunities and going for it. And so that really hit me this week about, how fortunate I certainly am to be here and part of this organization. Okay, thank you, Coach. All right, you guys.
Okay, Rich Dalrymple. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Shout out to Coach, man. My overall view of this presser was Coach is right on page. Shout out to you, Jay Versick, for letting me know that this interview was here. It wasn't even in the prep there. Shout out to Rollin Reviews. Really appreciate you so much. Much love for you. I don't know if I have time to open up the phone line. I really got to rock and roll. But I do got some other clips that I'm going to play for you all if time permits right now. So, Cowboy Nation. This was a wonderful piece of Coach talking there about, the philosophy of the defense, what they're going to do with players. I don't think the man is talking too much. I've seen somebody say, hey, he's talking too much, but think about it. We are only here because we are Cowboys fans. If I go type up probably the Bengals website.com, they probably have their coaches talking right now. Or if I type in the She-Goals, they probably have their coaches talking nonsense over there. So we just have our coaches talk that good stuff, and we got good camera quality. That's all I'm saying with that one. Cowboy Nation. And let me pull up my screen. Why is it black? There we go. Here we go. I haven't heard this interview.
The first.
Ooh, it's 51 minutes long. This is a long one. So I know I don't have time for that one. But, you guys get what I'm saying, right? You guys get what I'm saying. Let me see what Dak had to say.
This is really just the beginning. It's not the end.
No, for sure. It's definitely the beginning. It's exciting. I mean, it's a blessing just to know where I was, guess what, 9 months or something like that ago, to where I am now, to know that's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of commitment that went into it, but it all pays off. And I've had a lot of adversity in my life, and this was up there with them. So just to be able to accomplish what I have in just that process, and as you said, just to know this is the beginning of a long journey, and excited to be on top of it and have that season of adversity behind me. Just looking forward to each and every day, and just as I said, getting to do the things that I love and getting to do it with the people that I love, and it's a great game, and I'm just excited to be back at it.
Hey, man, Dak is always positive, man. It is one of those things where when we listen to Dak, his mindset, just like what Dan Quinn is talking about, they just different, man. They just going to get this thing going in the right direction. Let me pivot because we talked about Dak Prescott. We talked about the defense. We talked about the possibility. I think it's 4 more days from here to bring Malik Hooker in. And just to be honest with you guys, listening in to Dan Quinn, it seems as if though KZ may have the leg up on everybody, although he's saying that this is not the old defense from the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be a little different. I just think that he will probably know the verbiage a little bit, but they will still bring in Malik Hooker because you can't leave no stone unturned, basically, Cowboy Nation. Let me repeat, you can't leave no stone unturned, especially understanding that the type of roof that we had over here in Cowboys land, right? Leaking here, leaking there. Hey, one piece is missing altogether. But we knew, like, back in the days, J.J. Wilcox wasn't the voice of reasonings out there. Come on, let's be real. And then even when they had Byron Jones out there at safety, we was like, come on, man. Come on, man. When we looked at it and evaluated his tape, everything was up close. Redirect, using his length and his speed to change and stick. When they put him at safety, we was like, come on. Well, maybe it'll work only if you put him over the tight end. But outside of that, it was terrible for us, man, for those stretches of years. So hopefully, even though we didn't draft a safety, but hopefully these guys, KZ, Donovan Wilson, as well as Malik Hooker, these guys can still formulate something that can stick. So let's talk and pivot a little bit over to the haters. I got to give the haters a little glow right here. I haven't heard the interview, but they talked a little bit about Ezekiel Elliott. And you know when they talk about the path of the righteous man, you got to listen just a little bit. So let's see what they had to say.
He does look good.
Thank you.
I said this earlier. He looks better than he did when he came out. He looks leaner. But Skip, I haven't seen a running back go down for 2 straight years, as far as yards, explosiveness, and then bounce back up. I haven't seen that. I'm not saying that he might be the first that, we see a dip in performance and then spring right back up. But that's not normally how it works with running backs. And so, for me, you look at his 2020 season, he was 25th in rushing touchdowns, 6th with a career low. Ranked 41st in yards per rush, a career worst, 4 yards a carry. And 11th in rushing yards, he failed to reach 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards should be commonplace. All you have to do is average like 65 yards per game. And that'll put you over 1,000, 65, 66 yards a game, and that'll put you over 1,000. And another reason, Skip, I believe Pollard will get more touches, and you don't pay Dak Prescott $42 million to turn around and hand the ball off 30 times a game. You take CeeDee Lamb in the first round, Skip, when you need a defensive guy for what? You want to give Dak more weapons. You want to throw the football. And this is not the same offensive line. I will concur, give you this. Tyron Smith is not, in terms of age, normal people walking around, 32, 33 is not old. Zach Martin being 31, 32 is not old.
Nope.
But in football years, in the wars that they've been engaged in, and the toll, Skip, we see the toll that it's taken on them.
Hold on right quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second right here. All right, Zach Martin is 30, not 32, and Tyron Smith is 30, not 31, 32. But I get what Shay Sharp is trying to spit out of that mouth of his. But at the same time, Cowboy Nation, Ezekiel Elliott came out and said that he was 218 pounds. The last time he was that size as it relates to pounds was his freshman year, from what he said, his freshman year in college. So this is a slimmer Ezekiel Elliott. And I do know that from his anecdotal experience here, as far as from what he's talking about, Shay Sharp is talking about, well, he never seen a running back transform and become like this explosive guy. Well, we seen this before. We actually did. Marshall Faulk, when he went to the Colts, when he went to the Rams, 2 different type of running backs. And I'm not saying that all of a sudden that Ezekiel Elliott is going to put up and put out Marshall Faulk type of productions and productivity, but we've seen this before. It's not like this is something new under the sun. What I'm looking at, Ezekiel Elliott last season, one can argue and say, well, dog, man, you missing your left end right tackle. You got a second-year offensive coordinator drawing up plays. And then on top of that, during the process of that same season, he had the pandemic to go through. And I know this sounds like a bevy of excuses, and here's Law being an Ezekiel Elliott apologist. But there was a lot of things that happened that was beyond the controls of anybody thinking that this guy is all of a sudden going to go out there and be the NFL leading rusher when we was behind majority of the games, and you just don't tote the rock when you were behind. Jay Lombardi, appreciate you. Said facts. So, another person. I thank you over here, P. Weezy. Your comment just brought to my attention. Another person just flipped it. And this probably be before a lot of you guys' time, but y'all remember Marcus Allen? Y'all remember how he just flipped it, when he got, moved on to his new team? And Adrian Peterson, Adrian Peterson, he was created in a lab, I believe. But I'm not finna look at Ezekiel Elliott and say, well, he would never be explosive again. Think about it. Look, I know some ladies right now, if they can get from, if they can lose some pounds and inches like that, they'd be happy. They'd be all on some beaches twerking somewhere. And said if they just lose 15 to 20 pounds. It's a difference between 230 and 218, give or take. 232, 218. That's a difference. It's a major difference. And on top of that, it's not just pounds that Ezekiel Elliott lost. It's the inches. Y'all know I know the ladies know the inches. The inches everything, Oh, yeah. Fitting in from a size 12 to a size 6 is a whole different category, right? Or from, whatever the dress sizes are, for the ladies. D Shift says Corey Dillon, yeah. And don't leave out Curtis Martin, Curtis Martin is something else too, he was a guy that was able to continue to do his thing, right? Take me to the gym and pay me back. Yeah, shout out to you, P. Weezy. Zeke is still in his prime. This is from Hill. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. Let me see if I can find that clip again where they was talking all of that stuff. Give me 1 second. I lost the clip. Here he is right here. So I ain't gonna do him like that. He don't get a slap for that one. He don't get a slap for that one. Rollins says inches do matter. Yeah.
Smith hadn't played a full season in a very long time. Lyle Collins missed all of 2020 with a torn labrum in his hip. Zach Martin, we see these injuries starting to happen a little bit more. He's missing games now, Skip. So I think with that
come on. You can't put Zach Martin. Oh, I'm gonna let him go. Let him go.
Combination. The offensive line not being what it once was. Dak Prescott going to be asked to throw more. Tony Pollard getting more yards. I don't know if we're going to see the first 3 years Zeke. You gave the numbers, 108, 98, 96, and then it went down since.
Like shockingly down.
So
Yeah.
I just don't believe we'll see. Do I still believe he can be a good back? Sure. But that lead the league in rushing back, I don't see that Zeke.
So Shannon Sharp, going back 2 years on this show, I began to tell you, as a huge Cowboy fan, I'm sorry, I'm no longer seeing it from Zeke.
Right.
I told you my eye test is telling me something is really, really wrong here. And for a while, you fought back and said, no, he's still top 2 or 3 back. And then finally last year, you gave in and said, I can't see him anymore because I couldn't see him after he got his money.
Right.
Ahead of the 2019 season.
Let me say this right quick, Cowboy Nation. This Skip Salas says the same crazy stuff. Y'all remember he took the Ezekiel Elliott jersey. He took it. I think it was in 2018. He took the Ezekiel Elliott's jersey and balled it up and put it in a trash can. Now, mind you guys, we as Cowboy fans, we don't do that crap. Diehard Cowboy fans, like, there's never been a video I've seen, and if so, point it out, where they burning the jerseys of players. You ever seen that from a Dallas Cowboys? We never seen that from a Dallas Cowboys clip. But you can pull up other teams, and you'll see them putting bonfires out there. Especially the green team over there in Eagles land. What's the name of the team? Oh, Sheagles. Oh, yeah. Sheagles. They're burning Carson Wentz jerseys, right?
Diggs, Speedy.
Appreciate you, Tiff. Appreciate you so much. Oh, my goodness. Appreciate you for helping the nation out with the donation. So, we don't do that here. We don't take jerseys off and put them in trash cans or set them to fire. That's what Fiegel fans and Fickle fans and all of the other team fans. But there's no viral video of us burning that sacred silver and blue. We don't do that here, Cowboy Nation. As much as this team sometimes get on our nerves a little bit, As much as Jerry, Wine, Jones get on our nerves, we never burn our jerseys. We don't do that. And I love Ezekiel Elliott's mom. She captured that video and said, I don't want to see you with that jersey again. And I think like the following week, Ezekiel Elliott busted open for 100 yards and he come walking out, digging in the trash can, pulling the jersey out. You know, no, we don't do that. But here's my thing is for all of the fickle Cowboy fans, the door is always open still. They talk bad about us. Y'all do. Cowboy fans, the fickle ones, they talk so bad about us. They halfway in, halfway out. But we still stay here and we still bring them in. We still say, hey, come here. We understand. We still pat them on their head and say there's still room. Even the bandwagoners, they be gone, and then we start winning, and they come jumping on. I've been a Cowboy fan all my life, but we go down their news feed, we see them with Buccaneers jerseys on, Patriots uniforms on. Oh, I just like it because the player. We can let them slide. The room is always open for you to come on back to Big D. Yeah. It is. But this Skip Bayless guy, I just wish we could just shut him out, throw away the key, and say, man, you placating, man. You know good and well. You just be hyping this team up, and then you'll be ready to talk bad about this team for views and clicks and likes and these sorts. But the room is still open to all of the other haters. Y'all know how this thing go.
Season, he got his money returned from Cabo, and it looked like the rest of the year he was still running in Cabo sand, right? And I kept telling you, I'm seeing a little double chin. I'm seeing a second chin under there, and I'm seeing a little bit of paunch going. Listen, Emmitt
under
Smith
the beard
always had a little paunch. Yeah. But you want to talk about quickness, and as North Turner used to tell me, in a confined space, he never lost any of his quickness. And Emmitt was just naturally, he didn't have an all-time great physique. Right. He was just an all-time great test back. Yeah. Okay. So that's just like, thank you, God. He had the gift. What I'm starting to love about the new Zeke is he's giving me some real hope because I see some true dramatic changes. Right. He went to the independent running backs coach, and they worked hard through the offseason on his quickness. And I'm just going off this camp video I see a little bit more pep in his step than I saw the last 2 years. And Jane Slater reported he's down to 218. Well, I thought he played last year at like 235, so that's a pretty...
He was close to 230.
Yeah, right?
And Zeke is not, it's not like he's Derrick Henry like 6'3".
No. No, he's not. So... not only did he do that, but he's raving now about his new personal chef. Right. Well, as you know, that can really change your life. Yeah. If every meal you count on him, as you said, no more drive-throughs, right? Correct. If you avoid the drive-throughs and you let him set your menu for each meal's already he's got it.
Yeah, Special K, he could have said Josh Hicks' name. Shout out to Josh Hicks, man, for all that he do over here in the D-Up-Dub, man, doing a great job, wonderful job. We might be doing something together, so y'all just stay tuned to that. Josh Hicks, as well as Coach Bird, and some more guys out here that do some of these personal trainings during the off season. And y'all check out Josh Hicks' IG page and support the brother. And
he'll cook you good food. It'll taste pretty good. Maybe it's not Big Macs, but it's still, and you can still have maybe a Friday Big Mac if you want one. Yes, but there's a way to do this to stay in that 220-ish range. Correct. And his body in the shot that we saw, it looked good. It looked different than I've ever seen him look. I would agree. So I'm starting to have some hope, and those numbers you already gave. He led the league in rushing the first year with 109 a game. 98 a game his second year, still pretty great. Yeah. Then fell just slightly to 96 a game.
That's still great.
It's great enough because it led the league. All those three numbers led the league in yards per game rushing. Obviously, he missed some games when he got suspended, but still, yards per game, he led. Then he gets his bag. He got a big bag because he was a top-paid running back in football.
Bag, baby.
He drops all the way down from 96 to 85, and last year all the way down to 65. But he had the worst explosive production of any of the top 20-ish backs because in the last 2 years, he's had 7 rushes of 20-plus yards. Well, that's just not that guy.
Right.
That ain't Ohio State Zeke, right? He's had 0 of 40-plus over the last 2 years. Well, you got to give me one here or there, right? And I will never, ever forget, as long as I live, that Thursday night disaster at Chicago in 2019. Remember that? When he's waving out at, he has one good run, and he's waving to the sideline. I'm gassed. And I told you, our man Eric Dickerson, I think the greatest running back ever, he's not going to be gassed.
Oh, you want him?
Give me the
what you
rock.
want. Yeah, I just got him.
Yeah. I got them on their heels. I got them huffing and puffing. I got them scared to tackle me. Let me just sledgehammer these guys right here, right now. I'm taking it home. Give me the ball 3 more times.
The Derrick Henrys, the Dalvin Cooks.
That is correct. That's what they do because it's your genetics. It's what you're made of. Well, here's Zeke, and he just looked like a pathetic shell of himself last year. So I watched.
Yeah, Zeke gonna be right back, Cowboy Nation. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Dallas Cowboys have been averaging. Is it official now? Because due to the NFL policies, you can't post a player on another team or a free agent that's not signed. So let me see if I can get this straight right here. Yeah, it could be official right now. Let's see. The Dallas Cowboys could be adding more experience to the safety position with Malik. And this is their official. As you guys can see, this is their official page right here. Yeah. So it's official. I know this from yesterday. So, yeah. I mean, it's official. It just got to take time for it to manifest itself. I think it's 4 more days from here. It was 5 days yesterday. So you might as well, I don't know which jersey number he's going to wear. If it's 28, that's one of the good numbers out there. And hopefully he represents 28 well when he comes to this team, basically. I'm tired of listening to Skip Bayless and all of those boys. But my time has proceeded itself. And I got a couple more minutes before I rock and roll, and we got to hit the day rolling with some other stuff. But stay tuned. I think practice is today, so there will be clips throughout the day. And you guys stay tuned, man. I'll try in my busy time passing to drop you guys some of those clips, or it will be more so on the latter part of the evening there. Because I got to iron out so many things. Cowboy Nation. Shout out to Dan Quinn. Oh, I got so many other clips today we can go over, but time is just my enemy right now. Cowboy Nation. So with that being said, if you like what you heard today at this point, hit that subscribe button, share this content, and let people know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond. I don't like none of you guys. I don't like none of you guys. Y'all know I love you all. I don't like y'all. I love y'all. So let's continue to grind. I can't wait to see y'all beautiful faces, those out that's going to be out there in Oxnard. It will be the 28th for me. So save me a seat, save me a spot, and we're going to kick back. We're going to hang out. We're going to chill. We're going to have the greatest of the greatest time out there. And I hope all is well. Make sure you drink your water, your fluids, and let's continue get plenty of rest because y'all know when I'm out there, we're gonna put a lot of fun and action out there, and it's not no party until a Law Nation party get there. Y'all know how this thing goes, and we're gonna have a Cowboy party too. And y'all let me know if you're gonna be out there so I can hang out with you guys. Yeah. Appreciate it. Come on. Y'all know I need to see some fire emojis. I need to see some fire emojis. I do. Come on. Hey, when the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain. Not sliding down an old one. Write that one down. Out of the nights that cover me, black as the pit from pole to pole. I thank God for my unconquerable soul. Write that one down. Come on. Turn me up a little bit more. Yeah. This is doing this for the fabrications of your heart, soul, and mind and sinew. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold all of the things tawdry and cheap for it, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all terror of God or man for it, if you would simply, just simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and scarcity, with faith, hope, and confidence and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, or famish or fame can turn you away from the thing you want. If dogged and grim and besieged and besetted like USA, we beating the dog out of Japan right now, right? I see y'all over there, yeah. If dogged and grim and besieged and besetted with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, we will get it. Let's go. Come on. Turn me up. Fire. Yeah.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? This is
Go USA, baby.
I want me some glory hole.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? This is Sparta! This is Sparta!
Come on. Let's go. USA, 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 USA. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody. Thank everybody for jumping in and tuning in. Turn me up.
Nowadays, nothing really is.
Come on.
Only one of me and nobody's me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinging, she freeze. Photo, please. No photos. No. G's. No. Please.
Shout out time for your mind. Shout out to Tiffany, Barney, Todd Cook. What's good? KD. Come on.
I'm just warming up, wait till
I'm just warming up, baby. QBO 88. Yeah. Come on. Elizabeth. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate those that's on my. Appreciate you on my Facebook group. Ken, Jay Lynch, I see you. Roderick, Sunshine Tippins. Appreciate you. Wesley, Evan Brown. Thank those who gave stars too. Michael, Jesse, Victor Lee Mitchell. Come on. Jonah Hill, appreciate you. Len Therese, appreciate you. Come on. Put that where y'all are from. Come on. USA. All day.
Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale.
Shout out to you, Jay.
On the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up. Ooh. Now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food.
Come on.
Now you're
Cowboy Nation.
acting surprised, but you was fooled.
Let's go.
Boy, get out the way.
Tiffany, right now.
Now you got the pen and pad.
Subscribe to this channel right now.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's icy. I got wifey on bling and she icy. Freeze, photo. I ran up a check, I'ma do it again.
Do it again, baby.
Close, have me thinking they're friends.
Let's go.
10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to know I'm
Heartbeat, baby.
I do it for real.
Hakeem, let's go. The Dream Smith.
I do it again. Add it up,
right.
Euro, peso, add it up.
If you have not subscribed to this channel right now,
add it up. Euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me.
Shout out to Jacktown, baby. G-Mac. If you have not shared this content on Facebook right now,
told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Cold heart, I'm a cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold hearted.
if you have not liked this content,
once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car to get tatted up. All the other
what we tell
boys don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up.
Appreciate it.
No
Henry.
I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low.
And we lay low.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what?
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. I love the love and adulations for the nation. Let's hit this thing one more time. Let's hit this thing right here. Come on, AI. Need to see those lips moving. There we go. There she go. There we go. Come on, hurry up, girl. Where's she at? There we go.
Dallas winning WK1 brother.
Yeah. Yeah, appreciate you. Henry. She want to talk again about it.
Dallas winning WK1 brother.
Let's go. Oh, it's going to be a party when we get down there. Appreciate you, Hakeem. It's going to be a party when we get down there. Shout out to all of the content creators. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Appreciate you. Thug Life, right? This is Sparta. Come on. Like I said, if you had not hit that like button right now, what's wrong with you? And also,
you must be out of your goddamn mind.
Come on. Ain't no party like a Law Nation party. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. Let's grind. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. We out. Peace. Where my dog Dak at? There we go. They put him up there for a second. We out. Until next time, appreciate you coming. Team.
Yeah. Take a bite of my burger, babe. Save a last bite for you. For you. Ooh.
Tell them.
Don't let the street lights hit you all alone. You know it's
Be Weezy.
To go alone. Don't let the street
DC for life, Lee Grant, appreciate you.
I'll follow wherever you go.
Jonah Hill, appreciate you. The name of this song is Paper Crane from Epidemic Sounds. Until next time, blessings. Rest in peace to everyone. And another one. Yeah.
Finding you was a wanderlust. 7 wonders all in one.
Yeah.
All in one. Don't let the street lights.
Tiffany, appreciate you for your love and adulations.
You know it's dangerous to go alone.
Josh Hicks all day.
Don't let the
Let's go.
lights hit you. Can I be on play it too?
Come on, Nation.
I'll follow.
Chill out with the Nation.
Wherever you go.
Grab your libations.
Whatever you do.
Your wine, if that's fine.
Play it too.
Mimosas. And the coffee. Todd Cook.
If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far.
Sing it.
So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far.
I want me some glory
So
hole.
far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. We're out.
Have to.
I'm still here. I thought I was gone.
Really
Where is that? Where is my off button?
Nothing's working.
Here we go.
But there's something
Here
inside
we
of
go.
you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know.
Building the plane while it's in the air. Come on. I'm trying to find my off button. Come on. I can't leave. Where y'all at? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Appreciate y'all. We out for real now. For real, for real, for real. Shout out to Emmitt Smith.
Because you don't know who you're going to meet.
And remember, you're listening to nothing but the off station. Salute.